guest of the evening. That is going to be Michael Hagins of the Cage Theater Company. We'll ask him if he can join us. Let's find Mark. Okay, here we go. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Michael. So Michael Hagins, he'll be joining us in a second. For anyone who's been watching, hello, Michael.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Wonderful. Hello.
All right. So Michael, I've known of you for quite some time, and I've seen your work here and there, but I think this is the first time you and I are actually having a conversation together.
Yeah, sounds. I think so. Yeah, because you did an Othello a couple of years ago, right? Like a mix of Othello,
Right.
different Othello.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that. I was really compelling to watch that because it was very just a new way of looking at all the different characters in Othello, and I'm fascinated by that show, and just the way you did that was quite wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So Michael, you are the head of a group called the Cage Theater Company. And I remember seeing your work here and there at different times with Cage. Tell me about the Cage Theater Company. How did that start? What are you guys focused on? Tell me all about it.
Well, Cage began around 2005. I was part of another theater company where the producer decided that he wanted to keep all the money and not share with anybody. So I figured I'll build something myself.
Right.
And the idea of Cage Theater Company is an acronym for Classical, Avant-Garde, Experimental. We don't focus on just Shakespeare. It's more about Shakespeare and original work. I'm also a playwright. I have a lot of friends who are playwrights, and my big thing was always giving people an opportunity to do more things, do more theater, get them out there, get them working. And the best thing is let them have fun doing theater. And Shakespeare to me has been such a godsend because you can take so many classical themes in Shakespeare and make them more relevant to our modern society, and you can make the audiences really understand what Shakespeare was saying and even interpret some new things in new ways and see characters in new light. So Cage's been around for about 16 years now, I want to say, and it's been almost entirely me with the occasional person helping out and wanting to join here and there, and then they go have a family or something. But everyone's always welcome when they're part of the Cage family. So
You're directing and producing.
And producing, yeah. I also fight directing and costume designing, set designing, and you know how it is when you're a producer in New York City. You do every single thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When you have a small company, you're trying to make yourselves known. You absolutely you wear pretty much any hat that there is to wear, and then some. You add a couple that weren't there before. So I know it all too well. I know it. So you did a lot of work with Cage. You've been presenting all kind of different things, Shakespeare and the classics, but also avant-garde and experimental works. And you've been producing, directing, fight choreographing, costuming, everything else under the sun. Now, did you have training for this, or did you all just learn it all on the go?
I trained mostly through Combat Inc. for a long time, through Fights 4, Michael Chin, J. David Brimmer, Ray Rodriguez. They're some amazing teachers that have taught me everything about holding a sword, holding a quarterstaff, holding a shield. And I took all of what they taught me and honed it and studied and researched. And I got my Advanced Actor Combatant certification a few years ago, and I keep updated the best I can. So I don't go into this blind. I make sure I do all the research and keep people safe when I build fights. And to me, building fights is about safety. Safety first, safety second, and then have some fun after everyone is safe.
Excellent. Very, very, very. That's the right way to approach stage combat, because safety is paramount with stage combat. So where has Cage, in the middle of all this, been doing primarily all its work? I think you're having like a dual basis. You're partly in New York, but you're partly elsewhere as well.
No, mostly in New York. I did some work in New Jersey, but mostly in Manhattan and Brooklyn and Queens. Because it's mostly me paying for it, I find inexpensive spaces that I can do things out of, studios I can convert a black box into a giant set. I've done King Lear in a 20 by 20 space before. So you find where you can do theater and you do it there.
Absolutely. I mean, for people who might be watching either live right now or watching this on the replay, we'll be posting this on the replay on Instagram and other social media outlets. For those who don't know, who are just kind of just fans of Shakespeare and haven't actually produced or directed Shakespeare, producing Shakespeare in New York is a very, very expensive proposition, because renting a theatrical space in many ways, or in most circumstances, unless you have some good funding behind you or some sponsors that are helping you out, it can also almost be price prohibitive to present Shakespeare, which is why I think one of the reasons so many groups opt to do outdoor Shakespeare in New York, because there's no rental fee. Of course, you have park permits, but you don't have to rent a space. So it's one of the biggest, I think, constraints of presenting kind of independent Shakespeare or independent theater, generally speaking, is just the cost involved. So you find the spaces that are affordable, that work for your budget, that you can work everything out in Europe. And how do you? For me, one of the things that when I was kind of getting my feet wet and producing kind of on the independent basis, one of the challenges was, okay, you rent the theater, you get your actors, you get the show lined up, you cast them, you direct them, you produce them. How do you get the audience? So how do you develop the audience for an independent company that's bouncing around from space? If you're in one space consistently and you kind of develop the audience over time, maybe that's something. But when you're bouncing around from space to space, how do you keep the audience following you?
Well, I do a lot of viral marketing. I do make postcards still, and leave them everywhere. I encourage the actors to tell their friends, tell their families, tell everybody. And I've always felt like that when you have the actors having a good time, they enjoy the show, they want to share it. Right. I feel like people who do a great show, they want to tell everybody. They want to tell the world they're in this show, and they want to share with everybody. I don't know about you, but I've been in shows where it's not so much fun to be in it, and you don't know if you want people to see it. And I never want to be that kind of producer. Right. So a mix of Facebook, a mix of Twitter, a mix of Instagram, get all over social media, but also just let the actors tell the world, because they're the ones selling the show. They're the ones on stage. It's their faces they're going to be seeing. Their words going to be heard. So
absolutely, and you said it right in the beginning there. This is something that you used to do before social media was so prevalent, is when you were producing your own independent show, you hit the streets, you put your feet out there and you hit the streets and you put postcards in anywhere that they would take a postcard. So you're doing all the right things. You're hustling, you're making things happen. So tell me about your collaboration with our friend Carrie, Edel, Isaacman of Shakespeare Sports Theater, and how this particular production of Hamlet that you guys are working on coming up on August 26th, how that came about.
I've known Carrie for quite some time. I worked with her husband, Roger, in Romeo and Juliet. He was the nurse. I was Mercutio. Long time ago. And stayed in touch. Carrie got in touch with me to do some fights for her for As You Like It, for Tempest, and play some minor roles here and there. And at the end of the Tempest, she mentioned wanting to do Hamlet. I did Hamlet a couple of years ago. I directed a version of it that was 90 minutes long. I took a long time to cut it down to 90 minutes, but still make it, I think, still great for a stage. And I presented to her and said, this is what I have to offer, and I want to direct for you because you're passionate. You love Shakespeare. You really want to give audiences a fun time. So do I. So let's work together on this. Let me direct this. You produce it so you have less hats to wear, because we all know how that is.
Right.
And so she was excited to bring me on. I was excited to bring in some actors that I knew, that she knew, and the process has been a lot of fun so far, putting Hamlet together.
And you two have worked together before. If I recall correctly, she did a version of Pericles last year in the Zoom era, at the height of everyone doing Zoom and YouTube and everything else. And I think you were the titular character in that. You were Pericles in that production. Yeah,
we did it twice. The first time was for some children with special needs, just giving them a small show to understand Shakespeare and learning heart hellos and goodbyes. And it was very interesting to do that, because watching the audience react to the words and the characters and what they're going through. Second time, Pericles was a real show, a real stage reading, where we had to really find the emotions of it. And I've always loved Pericles. I think it's a very, very good show that people don't give enough credit to. It's a pirate comedy that mixes in a little bit of romance, a little bit of magic. And so playing Pericles was a lot of fun. I missed getting to do the big night fight, the little duel in Act 2, but Zoom, I'll take it.
Right. And now you're back in the physical space. So how is it back there was the Zoom era, and now you're back on your feet. You're back in the theater. Well, you did a stage reading, but have a full-on production with staging and stage combat and everything else. How is it to be back in the real, three-dimensional live theatrical format that you're preparing for?
I honestly almost cried on the first one. So I got Matt and Tucker playing Hamlet and Laertes respectively for a fight rehearsal. I began fight rehearsal early. I had to meet live. I worked over the fights with them, put swords in their hands when it was safe. Now we built the fight, the fencing duel at the end, and then got to work with Hamlet Ophelia for the nunnery scene, and Hamlet Polonius for the What Do You Read, My Lord? And watching the actors get to express themselves and be live and in person, to look in each other's eyes, hear each other's words, I have not felt that in 2 years because theater has just been gone from my life in a live capacity. And so just amazing feelings all around. And next week we begin our first live rehearsal with the whole cast. I have to block everything in Act 1 and 2, and Act 3 and Act 4 and 5. And I got to do it in 3 days because I want to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, but everyone's having short rehearsal periods right now because of COVID restrictions.
Yep. They want to do it because they love the show, they love working, and it's theater. It's Hamlet. So.
I'm excited. I'm excited. How can people find you guys and get information, get tickets, check out the show?
Well, the website is www.shakespearesportstheatercompany.com, theater with an R. And there is an event on Facebook. You look for Hamlet, you'll be able to find it pretty easily. It's our Hamlet holding a skull at the camera, so can't miss it. The show's open Wednesday, August 26th at 7 p.m. at the Roberto Velez Clemente Center.
Clemente Soto Velez.
Thank you very much. You say it right. I know it's at 107 Suffolk Street, though. I know it's there.
Okay. And
we also run Thursday and
Carrie's putting the link in the comments section for people who want to find it. Okay, so
yes.
you're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right?
No. We open Thursday the 26th at 7 p.m. Yeah.
Okay.
Said it wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, listen. I at the Los Caballitos Theater within the Clemente Soto Velez Center, and that's in the Lower East Side. This is where we were talking to Mark about Full Reel and the activities happening there. It's still happening. There's still a ton of great stuff happening over there in the Lower East Side, and we encourage you to check out our friends Michael Hagins, Carrie Edel Isaacman, Shakespeare Sports Theater, Hamlet, August 26th to 29th. We wish you all the best of luck, Michael. It's a pleasure speaking with you after kind of connecting vaguely through this time, and I hope to be able to catch the performance and see what you guys are doing down there.
Please come by and please enjoy Hamlet. I know you've seen it a million times, but who knows? It's something new. You never know.
I'm sure there will be. All right. Thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure, and we wish you guys all the best with your production.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Okay. We will wish Michael a farewell. Okay. So that was Michael Higgins of the Cage Theater Company, who is directing Hamlet for Shakespeare Sports Theater, produced by Carrie Edel Isaacman. And Carrie is doing a great job putting all the information in the comments section. It is at the Clemente Soto Velez Center in the Lower East Side, and she's got all the information down there. You can check out that information down there. We'll also have the links in the wrap-up of this Instagram Live program.